One of the things I see artists struggling with a lot, especially myself, is creative block and the fear of getting started. There will always be moments in our art practice where we feel uninspired. For me, that's when the fear sets in. I don't know what to do or how to create, and the temptation is to just wait. Wait until the inspiration comes, but that's not really how it works. It's true that eventually we'll see or hear something that will give us some inspiration, but I've learned that inspiration is not something to wait for, it's something that ensues as we pursue it. What I mean is, sometimes you just need to start for the inspiration to come. And sometimes you have to keep working even when everything seems awful. The first layer. Oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it. But as I was staring at it in disgust, I did feel some inspiration. And of course, after doing shellac burns for 6 years, I've learned that layers are key with this technique. And so I kept going. The thoughts I began to have were related to sacred moments, moments that are so transformative that they not only change the future, but they extend back into the past as well. The best way I can explain it is by referencing the monolith in the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. If you've seen that movie, you'll remember the monolith that appears for the apes in the beginning and then later the humans on the moon. For me, the monolith is a symbolic representation of our interactions with divinity, sacred moments that lift us and transform us. I believe we all need to have moments like this, even if they only happen once. Sometimes, especially with shellac burn pieces, I find that they don't really come together until the end. They don't really look good until you have all the layers kind of blending together and adding that depth that you can only really get with encaustic. I'm really happy that I got the right levels of opaqueness with all of my wax. The white is white, it stands out and is quite vibrant, but it's very opaque. So it's transparent, you can see through it. You can see though that first layer of shellac kind of peeking through. It's so fun to have control over your art and where it's going, but also to have it be a very organic process and to have that piece speak to you and tell you where things should go and how it should develop. Adding the glass pieces was a fun way to add more color and texture, but especially depth. I just had to figure out the best way to fuse them into the wax. First, I had to lay the pieces down on the surface. I could have added them to a small amount of wax and then brushed everything onto the surface, but I immediately knew that wasn't the best idea. I would have lost a lot of control of most of the pieces and just made the whole process so frustrating. So I added the glass to the surface first. I dropped wax onto the pieces, then fused them with my torch. And this worked really well. Fusing without the drops seemed to work just as well, since by then I had enough layers of wax that they could be enveloped by them. The shellac lines on the surface are the perfect finishing touch. I love how the colors fade into the layers. Encaustic is just so amazing. Would you like a print of this painting? Check out my store for prints and originals. I'll even be adding new merch in the coming months, so stay tuned.